Let's be honest, the world doesn't need another scooter. There are already hundreds of scooter brands, thousands of scooter models. So why did we decide to build one anyway?
Because after spending years in this industry, we really noticed something strange. Every year, those so-called high-end scooters are becoming faster, more powerful, more extreme.
But somehow, many of them still don't feel great to ride. Not because they're slow, but because of all the little things nobody talks about. Have you ever ridden a scooter that feels nervous at speed? Have you ever ridden through a wet road and ended up with dirty shoes and muddy pants? Have you ever struggled to deploy a kickstand and scraped your ankle in the process? Have you ever wondered why a scooter designed mostly for city riding comes equipped with aggressive off-road tires? The funny thing is, none of these problems appear on a specification sheet. Nobody advertises them. Nobody puts them in the headline. But these are exactly the things riders remember. And that's where our story began. When we started developing the Bond S10, we asked ourselves a simple question. What if we spent less time chasing bigger numbers and more time solving the small frustrations riders deal with every day? The first thing we focused on was stability. To achieve that, we redesigned 4 key areas. A wider 680mm handlebar for better leverage and control. Forged structural components for greater rigidity and strength. A steering geometry designed to naturally improve stability. And a steering connection tolerance of less than 0.2 millimeters. 5 times tighter than what you'll find on many scooters. The result? A scooter that feels calm, controlled, and confidence-inspiring at speed. But stability is only part of the story. Some of the biggest frustrations riders face come from the smallest details. Take the fender, for example. Most riders don't think about it until a wet road leaves dirt all over their shoes and pants. That's why we extended and widened the fender design, increasing spray protection by over 50%. Then there's the folding mechanism. Many scooters use aluminum in critical folding components. We chose steel instead, because a folding mechanism should still feel solid after thousands of uses, not just on day one. The same thinking applies to the tires. Many scooters are fitted with aggressive off-road tires. Even though most people spend their time riding on city streets, we wanted something different. More comfortable than aggressive off-road tires, more versatile than traditional urban tires, a better balance for the way people actually ride. And finally, the kickstand, a part most brands barely think about. We redesigned it with a larger contact area for better stability when parked, a more accessible position for easier deployment, and smoother operation that won't catch your ankle while using it. Because good design should solve problems, not create new ones. Of course, solving everyday frustrations doesn't mean sacrificing performance. The Bond S10 still delivers everything riders expect from a premium dual-motor scooter. A top speed of 37 miles per hour, up to 46 miles of range, dual motors with up to 3,500 watts of peak power, hydraulic disc brakes, dual hydraulic suspension. Because performance still matters, we simply believe it should work together with ride quality, not against it. Finally, let's talk about design, because great products aren't just built to perform, they're built to be enjoyed. The glossy black finish on the Bond S10 wasn't the easiest choice. In fact, it costs nearly 5 times more than conventional matte finishes, because achieving a deep, piano-like gloss requires a much higher standard of surface preparation, coating, and finishing. It's a level of finish rarely seen in the scooter industry. And that's exactly why we chose it. The champagne gold accents were just as important. We explored dozens of different shades before selecting the one you see today. Not too yellow. Not too orange. Not too bright. Just enough to create a sense of refinement. Because trends come and go, we wanted something timeless, a scooter that looks just as good years from now as it does today. And that's really what Bond S10 is about. Not one big innovation, not one headline feature, but hundreds of thoughtful decisions that come together to create a better riding experience.